I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
And welcome here for some more continuing coverage of the Saville Grand Prix, brought to you here by Curling Stadium. We're delighted to have you along. My name is Dan Hobson. We have Sandra McMakin, James Gordon running the buttons, and the rest of the Curling Stadium crew, etc. This is going to be an interesting matchup of a couple of teams that know each other. Your thoughts on this one?
Well, yeah, we've got another Battle of Manitoba going on today. So the team Kaitlyn Laws, minus Kaitlyn, who is on a parental leave, being skipped by Selena Negevin, who usually plays third, and they are playing team Kerri Einarson today in the semifinals. So it should be a great game.
Well, right now, of course, it's Anderson that will have the hammer here, throwing the yellow stones to start things here. As you said, as you mentioned, it's a couple of teams that have a little bit of a different look than what we're compared to see it here, but still they know each other very well. And what do you think we're going to see out of them? Are we going to basically see Anderson probably try to use this last rock opportunity here in number one to put up definitely a two score, force the pressure here on Laws? Do you think that's what we'll see here?
Yeah, they're probably going to play fairly safe and open this first end. Anderson will probably try to get an easy deuce, or if that's not in the cards, she'll blank and go into the even ends with the hammer. So just the teams are slightly different. Again, like that we're used to seeing. So Jocelyn Peterman, who normally plays second on Team Laws, has moved up to third, and they have a substitute curler, Becca Hebert, is playing second, and Kristen McQuish is still at lead. And then on the Einarson team, of course, her third is Val Sweeting, and Joanne Courtney is filling in at second, and Kristen Karwacki, who has been playing lead for a while with Kerri's team, is there today. So we're just watching basically an open end of curling. They went into the house, and so now there's just hits.
As you see, the front end here trying to rush this rest of the way, and they will pick a part of the stone, remove it, and get a little bit of a roll towards the 12-foot area to lie one. But you can see that they're just maybe getting a little bit of a feeling out process. Not sure like how weather conditions may determine ice conditions, if the ice conditions have been pretty much been consistent pretty much since the start of this tourney on Thursday. So we'll have to wait and see if there's any adjustments in terms of that. Mostly doing this one just for line right now, and as you see, they will get a piece of the stone, a little bit of a roll, and roll more towards the center line area to lie one. Team Laws. As I said, Laws in the red stones, Einarson in the yellow, and Einarson has a hammer here in end number one.
Yeah, so in the previous game where Team Laws was playing Team Kim, Yoonjung Kim, the ice on that, like both teams basically stuck to, down weight, 11-second hog to hog hits, where they had a little bit of curl on those. It was very weight sensitive, though. If you bring your weight up at all, it doesn't really move. So, and there was, basically good swing, somewhere around 4.5 feet of swing, both sides. The previous sheet had a little bit of a flat spot coming towards the scoreboard on the right. So there was a little bit of inconsistency the last game. So I'm just going to keep my eyes open for anything like that on this game.
Was a previous skip before, of course, joining Einarson here, Val Sweeting, and this is also typical left-hander curler. She's been doing that for years. As we're into the third stones here, quickly moving along and in number one, Sandra.
Yeah.
Definitely saving some time for sure.
Yeah.
Not sure if they've got dinner reservations or not after this one is over, but once again, now they're going to go to the right side of the sheet as they get another hit and roll. And
yeah.
definitely, you can see if. Sorry, go ahead.
I doubt if either team has dinner reservations right now because they're both trying to get to that championship game, right? When is that?
Well, it'll be a little bit later on tonight, but you could definitely see that they're not wasting any time and played pretty much pretty quick end here in this end number one. So not really much in terms of a lot of rocks in play, just have had basically one here in this first end. Once again, it's nice, pretty much straight down the line here for Val Sweeting with her second here. So we're into third stones and then number one. And pretty much almost a little bit of a nose hit, maybe a slight roll towards the center line. So you mentioned, of course, off the top, of course, with Laws on having second child on the way. All of a sudden, you've been a third, but how much of an adjustment is it here for Selena going from like third to skip, especially in this big tournament going on right now?
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit, and I tried to look it up. So when this team first formed, which was right after the last Olympic cycle, Kaitlyn had a parental leave with her first child. And I believe at that point that Selena stepped up to skip to cover. Now, I think what happened is that they were both expecting. So one covered, Selena covered for Kaitlyn, and then I think that Kaitlyn came back, and then Selena was gone for a little bit. It is a difference, obviously, going from third to skip. Selena is a very experienced player, so she's done very well at it. Of course, it's there's a bit more pressure because, especially if you're throwing last rocks, so the pressure is different. And the mental work of the skip is obviously a little bit different too, because you're trying to keep track of all the lines of everybody. Watching her game that she played this morning at the quarterfinals, she played a great game, made a lot of really good, great shots. Both teams did.
Final stone here, but not the last rock here. That belongs to Einarson for Team Laws here. And in number 1 has very much been a clean first in. A little bit of a feeling out process. Slight rubs, scrubs all the way, and a little bit of a hit, and will just barely bite the 12-foot area here. So Einarson will have that to get rid of the garbage and carry the hammer into end number 2. Very important that sometimes in this sport, it's you may not be able to win it in the first in, but you can sometimes lose it. So with a couple of teams that are like world class, like Team Laws and Team Einarson, definitely really not too much of a surprise to see them, go, especially at this juncture of the Grand Prix Championship, to have a clean first in here.
Yeah. Yeah, they were.
Final.
They're not taking any chances. So just enough to get a reasonable read on the ice, and they're just, the typical is if you have the hammer, that if you can get an easy 2, that's great. Like there's been a miss by the other team or something. Otherwise,
just heads up, we're throwing the break here, Sandra.
Okay.
Okay, so first in is in the books. No score. We'll be back here with more of the Saville Grand Prix in just a couple of moments.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Don't forget the brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on. Okay, well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
And welcome back to end number 2 of the Saville Grand Prix. It is Team Einarson versus Team Laws. Einarson has hammer here in the second, throwing the yellow stones. And as we see, center guard put up right away by Laws. So Sandra, would be interested to see what we've got, if it'll be more like a defensive like we saw in the first end, or if we maybe see some of the teams go at it here, especially Einarson try to get her deuce here in end number 2.
Yeah, so they've opted, Team Laws has put up a center guard, and they're opting to go around the center guard. So typically their other option, obviously, is to put up a corner guard. They might not want to go with that messy of the front of the house still when it's only the second end.
A pretty good shot, like as you see, really buried in behind that guard. So couldn't ask for a better throw there. Here from Kristen Karwacki, who's playing lead here for Einarson. So second of the lead stones on its way for Team Laws. As you see, it gets a piece of the 4 foot, so we've already have more stones in play than we did here in the first in already. So there's Team Anderson there as we're into the second stones here in this second end. Easily moving the red stones. So right now, Team Anderson lies to here in end number 2.
Yeah, so Selena's gonna try and get rid of this with sort of a down weight kind of hit. She is trying to get that rollover in front of the other yellow rock. But not letting things build up for the hammer team.
Joanne Courtney. Well by that center guard as it starts to come in, starts to dig in, and will, with a nose hit, remove the yellow stone.
Yeah, so didn't quite get the roll that she wanted.
And once again, this one easily, and does jam onto the yellow, but it will stay in the back 12.
That's
third shot.
Yeah, so I mean, she seemed to throw a lot less weight, and yet it's still hung out there unless she maybe was a little off the broom. So there's a jam, and the yellow hangs around for a biter.
Well, it may be not dangerous right now, but we get closer to the later stages of the end, that may come to a little bit of a factor for sure.
Well, things like that can actually, like, all of a sudden they can just about got it.
Yeah. Yeah, they almost made that not a factor, but
yeah, those biters can wreck an end faster than anything. Or make an end.
But as you can see, like with the shot here, that guard's really not of any benefit to anybody right now, because that stone is just completely wide open here for Team Anderson. Sweeting and Karwacki put the probes down, as you see. Now they sit 2 here, as we're in the late stages of end number 2 in a game that's really moving along pretty quickly.
Yeah, so Team Laws is still going for that elusive roll behind their guard, just to make the takeouts tougher. So with that biter on the side, I mean, it is possible, like a deuce is in play, and possibly even a 3, depending on what happens going forward in this end.
And they just got by the guard, and they leave the yellow stone really wide open there. And once again, another one there in the back 12. Yellow one is right now 3rd shot. The red is 2nd. So a couple stones that may not be, as we said, in the danger territory right now as we're into 3rd stones. Here's Val Sweeting here from Team Anderson.
Yeah.
With her first. As you see, it's on its way. The front end here, rushing, trying to get it by, get it in behind the guard, and you can see that they do, and they now sit 1 and 2. Shot stones here for Einarson.
Yeah, and that one is dead buried. So You might be able to see just a touch of it on the left side there.
Already see the indication here from the brushers. They had a hand signal up, so I'm not sure if that's going to be good news or bad news. We'll have to wait and see as they are on this stone right away, Team Laws is. You see well by the guard easily.
They should have a little bit of a roll.
Yeah, they got a little bit of one.
A touch.
Yeah. So you're down to the hack, you're Val Sweeting. How much of that stone do you see? Maybe a little bit decisive for what their cameras have, but.
Yeah, it looks like you can see 3/4 at least of that rock. So, I mean, they do have the hammer, so they can like roll to the wing. Which they did.
So you see a lot of stones there in the back 12.
Yeah.
And
So
just biting the
Anderson is
forefoot
laying
here.
3 right now.
So the shot here is to probably want to get a piece. It'd probably try to roll back towards like the 8-foot area, right, Sandra?
Yeah. Yeah, if she can, I mean, if she can throw enough weight to roll as far over as she can, right? I mean, it's almost like there's a little catcher's glove there for her rock, but it's a hard shot. It's at the back of the house.
It's definitely really important for her to at least stay for sure. We're going to skip stones here in end number 2. Team Einarson, Team Laws. There is the nose, and they will get the roll, and it will stay.
Hey, that's
second
not bad.
shot.
Well, you know, it kind of spun back so that it's exposed. At one point, it was even further buried. So, I mean, she accomplished what she was trying to do. She removed the rock and she moved over behind the guards and closer to the other rocks over there. But she is, you know, out in the open. Basically, they can get that.
Einarson and Val Sweeting having a good chat here to talk the options over. Well, we said it about a few minutes ago here at this second end that some of those biters may come in to be a little bit of a factor, but it's just leaving like a big wall there, like in terms of shots here the rest of the way. So it's very, I mean, very difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. Her goal is to get 2. So, I mean, if she goes for the one at the back of the house, I mean, that would be something that you would have for your last shot. You know, if you were able to use it for your last shot to get 3 or something. But right now she needs to make sure that she's in a good spot to get at least her 2 without giving the other team something that's going to let them out of the end.
Einarson with her first was with the skip stones here at end number 2. Will it stop, or it's going to stop just back for the second shot.
Yeah.
So you could figure out like you're going to be in the head of Team Laws, of course. What do you think Selena and team are going to construct here for a shot?
Well, she's probably going to just try and freeze up to that one. If she gets a freeze, a nice freeze, basically she will have likely forced Einarson to 1, which is a good outcome, considering that at one point they were looking at 3. Now she has to make this shot, right? If she's heavy and bounces in the open, she could give up 3 still.
Final stone for Team Laws without hammer here at end number 2. See the front end brushing there, very particular, making sure as it now comes closer to the house. All 3 of them are working on it, trying to drag it, and it's going to be just short, top 12. So now you said the 3 was in play and it could have been down, but the 3 is back in play now. We just got to find a way to get there.
Yeah.
Here's from Einarson.
Well, she's got the entire half of the house to draw to, and she really, well, all Skip's hammers should go to the T line or the button if you can get to the button, but the T line. But I mean, she really just has to bite 8 foot, and she's going to get her 3.
She's got 2 in her back pocket right now. Final stone, Team Einarson. In number 2. Trying to get Team Laws to pay for being short there on the previous draw. Trying to get to 3. The guard.
Look at how the sun is getting over. I mean, it looks like a good shot.
And I believe they got the stick for the 3. So what was a defensive first in? Einarson puts up a 3 here in the second. 3-0. Laws will have hammer and will have end number 3 right after these messages.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
All right.
And welcome back to end number 3 here at the Saville Grand Prix as we're getting into the nitty gritty. Dan Hobson, Sandra, McMakin, James Gordon pressing the buttons, and the rest of the curling stadium crew. Glad to bring this one to you. Einarson with a 3 in end number 2. So it is Team Laws with the hammer in number 3 throwing the red stones. And you have a funny feeling here, Sandra, that it definitely wasn't in the playbook there of Team Laws to give up a 3. So we have a funny feeling that this may sort of change the game here, and it may make Team Laws be a little bit more aggressive earlier than what they really wanted to. Do you agree?
Yeah. So they had a couple of half shots in the last end that caused Team Einarson to get up in the number of rocks that we're counting. And, it's just one of those things. But the danger is that they try and get a 3 back. Okay, so if you go on Curling Zone and you look at the scores, the scoreboards, and look at the number of times that teams score a 3, a 4, or a 5, something like that, or that teams get those types of ends scored against them, and then look at what the number of times that a steal happens the next end. So generally, she should just stick to going for her 2. She's still in the game. If she gets 2, she forces 1, she gets 2 back. Now it's a tie game again. So I think we're just going to see her trying to get her 2. Kerri is playing to the center. She has got her center guard up and she's got a rock buried behind it. So she's going to make things miserable if she can.
Well, as I said, in the first half, there wasn't a lot of rocks in play, and I think that was, there's a term that we use in this, and it's called game on. So it's like, here we are, game on, in number 3.
Yeah.
And that will stop at the back 12. And right now is just probably by about maybe 2 or 3 hairs the second shot here for Team Einarson.
Okay, so she's Selena's going to try and do more than one thing with a rock. She's going to try and get rid of the center guard and get another corner out of it. So I don't believe that she's playing just a straight peel, although if she gets a straight peel, she'll be okay with that. But you see now she's got 2 corner guards.
2 corner guards, as you see, pretty much have split one side on the left, one on the right there, and the yellow stone belonging to Einarson. Easily there, so looks to be one of those. We thought we saw a lot of shrapnel here in the second, and maybe a lot here, even more here in the third. The gate got off the brushes here a bit on this one. They're just onlookers here at the front end. Now they start to, as it cuts in towards the center line, and now they start to go on it and drag it, and they sit too.
Yeah, and the thing is that the guard, that rock did slide in a little bit further than I think they wanted it. When you come into the house like this, you're also bringing the opposition into the house. So they have a chance to get a hit and roll and bring one of these corner guards into play.
And watch, probably these spills some rocks action going to happen here. Bang. Oh, doesn't get that back one, but at least does pick out a yellow one. And the...
Whoops.
can't keep the shooter as it just goes out of play. As we're into third stones with Val Sweeting.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a missed opportunity.
It's one of those games. So
Yep.
it's one of those games where it's like half misses here by Laws so far, and just Anderson is kicked the door in. But that's to be expected when you get here to like the playoff portion here of these championships. There's really not much room for error. You give a team half a shot, and that's just almost like giving them off to the races. They'll put a guard up and protect that yellow stone.
And here, I mean, this is, a much better guard for them. It's out in the free guard zone. And unlike the last one, you're not actually bringing the opposition into the house.
It looks like they're going to probably see some big weight here and try to pick it out. They'll do the run back here. It looks to be the call based upon where they had the position of the broom.
Yeah, so she's thinking.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Thinking of doing a little bit of an angle run on her, like using her red rock. The problem with that is that she's still leaving the center guard, and the center guard is the issue. As the end progresses, that center guard is going to continue to be a problem for them. So the rest of her team is asking whether they shouldn't just do something more with the center guard. Maybe even try to slash clip one of that red one on the left, the guard on the left, and see if you can move those things around so that they just can't plug it up again with one lonely rock. They would have more chances. So I like this. The center guard is the problem here.
Well, it's definitely like the thing is like the run back. There's just so much room for like error. So, yeah, I like the call here. Try to at least get rid of this. At least open up something here so they can still have like a path or a port to get through if you need to.
Yeah, because that angle run back that GNC, she might get the one at the back.
Yeah, well, that's definitely wasn't really what they drew up, but maybe they did, maybe they didn't. They'll tell you they did, but it's definitely cleared a little things up in front of the house there.
Yeah.
Still Anderson line one.
And that is actually not a bad shot. It kind of depends. Well, right now, it's going to probably bring the blank into play. It's an odd end towards the scoreboard, and a blank is not the end of the world for Team Laws either. I mean, she can go into the fourth end with the hammer and get her deuce there.
The hit and the roll out. So once again, as I said, get to be a broken record. Don't want to be, but Anderson now line one here. So going back to the old 80s and 90s game here. Well, I wouldn't say 90s, but definitely the 80s for sure. It's when you had those 1-0, 2-1 games where it was peel, lose the shooter, blanking in. Looks like we're on our way here, and that we're in number 3. Light brushing and gives a little kiss to the yellow stone, and we'll go to the back and out. So it's Laws line one here, late stages in 3. So It's amazing how, of course, we talked about the world caliber of these two teams. There was like a lot of rocks in play to start, and now only one really left in play here in this third end. As you see, they get the piece of the rock and roll to the outside, just biting the 12-foot area to lie one. You see Kerri very particular at ice, making sure nothing gets in the way of this throwing path here on this final stone for her in end number 3. Of course, one of the things is that you've got curling ice, and of course, when you see other curling championships, they're in arena, so it's definitely a little bit more different in terms of ice and swing and everything like this. So making sure and being particular, make sure that nothing gets picked up.
Yeah, so this is Selena's first rock. She's going to hit because I think that she has decided that she's going to just take her blank and go into the fourth end and try again for a deuce. You know, it was just maybe a little bit of bad luck that when she did that slash peel, that the one rock missed the rock on the 4-foot and went back and took everything off at the back of the house.
Yeah.
So kind of changed the whole shape of what was going on in that end.
As you see, they're getting a little bit further and further out away from the tee line and the button is there. One lonely red stone belonging to Laws. Is Einarson with her final. She doesn't have hammer here in end number 3. You see, they've just one brusher, light brushing, so pretty much will tell you that they pretty much are right on there for the shot, coming closer to the house. Definitely want to make sure that they do stick here, so you leave Selena with a possibility of having to remove a stone, and they do, so. Selena places the broom down and get ready to throw her final stone. Here, last rock, end number 3. 8 ends they play here, so as the final stone is on its way here from Team Laws. Looking to get the hit, roll out to carry the hammer end to end number 4.
They're sweeping for curl. Got it.
And does get the roll out. So a couple of blanks here in this one. He had one in first end and a blank here in 3. So we're going to head to the 4th. It is still Team Einarson with a 3-0 lead over Team Laws. This is the Saville Grand Prix on Curling Stadium. Back with the 4th end after these words.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together,
And welcome back here as it is the semifinals final Sunday here at the Saville Grand Prix on Curling Stadium. Sandra, McMakin, Dan Hobson, James Gordon doing a fantastic job directing, and the rest of the Curling Stadium crew here. We're into end number 4. Once again, Team Laws has the hammer here, and they're throwing the red stones. And really, when you think of it here, Sandra, other than that maybe bad second end, hasn't been really much in terms of give and take here between the teams. It's been pretty tight. Your thoughts?
Yeah, of course, that second end we already talked about how there was just a couple of half shots on the part of Team Laws, and that let Team Einarson sort of accumulate rocks in the house, and that's how they ended up with their 3. They did have some really nice draws where they were just dead buried. In the last end, obviously, Team Laws would be trying to go for a deuce, but just the way that things worked out, she tried to do a slash double and maybe pick off the rock that was on the forefoot, and that cleared off the front of the house, plus also cleared off all the rocks that were at the back of the house, which changed the end and turned it basically into an open end that was blanked again. So here we are into an even end going towards the glass. So Team Laws has the hammer, and they're going to be trying to get a 2 with their hammer. They've put up their corner guard, and that's where we are right now.
Yeah, we're into the second stones, moving along here in end number 4. And they will just get by their own guard, maybe by a hair or 2, and will come around to be perfectly buried. And it is a really good shot, but there's also that yellow one there, so it's leaves a double possibility here for Team Laws if they could just come around there. So that's the danger of putting stones too close together there, leaving double possibilities with some of these world-class curlers.
Yeah, this looks like really fun ice to play on. Like they can, you can pretty well count on the rocks somewhere about, maybe 5 feet or so after the hog line. They just, cut over and finish really hard. And so you can get, some of these nice berries behind guards, even guards that are closer to the house. So that's what's happened right now. So Team Einarson has sunk a couple of really good ones. It looks like I don't have a top house view, but it looks like they're basically frozen. And she was just trying to do a run back on that guard, and they'll try to replace the guard.
Thought we might have seen like all kinds of like shrapnel being placed all over the house there on the shot, but not to be. And as you said, they're just going to put another corner guard right up, and they're going to try to get it buried. And not a bad shot there. Almost like a perfect guard. You don't want to be too long, and it's good spot there. Sorry, Sandra, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a really nice spot. I mean, there's not much that you can do. She's got to address the guard. I mean, if you hit this just right, you can maybe get rid of everything and then bring your corner back into play.
So almost a similar shot here for Team Laws as the previous throw. See, once again, big weight.
Yeah. In a way, though, she doesn't want to get rid of all the rocks because she needs rocks in play, even rocks that are, yellow. she needs them in play so that she can actually build an end.
Yeah, she got something there. She ended up getting like a little bit of a roll to the left side of the sheet. So
Yeah.
something that she may be able to use a little bit later. But a little path and open up the center line here. So. It almost puts it right almost close to it, but based upon our view there, you could probably see like a little bit of half a rock on the outside turn there. So once again, Team Loss is just gonna go after the guard that was just thrown by Team Einarson.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is her second's or her third's first rock. So she has decided that she's going to go at this one more time. Other options that she has is she could come with a little bit. Now that she can see a little bit of those rocks, just move them around a little bit. If she can, like tap things around. But
well, they got a little bit of a tap, and then once again, the shooter rolls to the side there, almost kissing the other one that's there, but the center line well open, and Einarson still lies 3 here as we're into the fourth.
Yeah, so because she's moved those rocks around that so that they're not like almost directly frozen on each other, you can't really guard them just with one rock. But she did put a pretty perfect guard on the center line rock. So they're going to go one more time.
They managed to roll to the side a couple of times with this similar shot they've sort of done like the last 3 or 4 times. To see if that comes to fruition once again. Once again, they're hard on the rock here as it just get past the line, and this one will roll a little bit more towards the outside and out, so they couldn't keep the shooter. Einarson still lies 2 here, late stages of the fourth end. So Sandra, I think it's just pretty much going to be like the same shot, just still once again guard what you got there.
Yeah, if she puts another guard like that on, it'll be interesting to see what they do. Like I don't think that she has any kind of a draw. I can't necessarily tell, but I don't think that. She doesn't really have much for a draw to get in there. I mean, maybe it's there.
Yeah, so just put this one right on the center line. So now here for Team Laws is a decision of whether they want to use the in turn or out turn to possibly try to get some of those out there. They have the hammer here in fourth. Right now, it is Einarson line 2. Just seems like Team Laws has always had the more difficult shots here. So give credit here to Einarson for putting the pressure on.
Yeah, well, I kind of wonder if she could have after her second rock, done something a little bit more down weight to sort of tap things around, maybe tap them back behind the tee line so that she had some sort of a draw or something to get in there.
Giving a lot of attention to that guard, and it looked like they're just going to make the safe play, just remove it.
So, and the thing too is that like this is now another big weight hit, and if she has to do a draw for her last shot, this is
going to be she's got to split some of the granite there, at least remove one. They're brushing hard to try to get the out into the back 12, and they do. So instead of Einarson line 2, they now line 1, but there's Redstone and Laws there right along the middle of the ice, center line.
Yeah.
But you see that yellow pretty much wide open.
Well, and even more important, she now has some options, right? She has an option for a last shot because they're not going to be able to guard everything. Now she can come in and she can tap that, and that would make things really difficult. But there still is a draw path on the outturn side. So depending on where these rocks are, like there still is going to be a draw path on the outturn side for them to get at least one.
And a couple of sorry, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. This file's out here
point,
for Einarson.
Maybe they're thinking, you know what? We don't want this hammer anyway, so we're gonna give it up for one, and maybe we'll do better without the hammer for an end or two. Sometimes that's the thought process, is that we've had the hammer now for like 2 or 3 ends, and we haven't managed to manufacture points, and so we'll take one and. They're looking to make sure that one on the side isn't actually a counter.
I see a little bit of white. But here's the thing: is that in the past, when you see that like overhead shot and see white, sometimes you get closer and it could be actually still in play. So
yeah, just the geometry, the penumbra of camera angles makes it look like it's out where it's in, or the rings are slightly off. So then you put a biter bar on it and you find out that, the rock that looks like it was out is actually in. So, but she's going to draw. She needs to bite the button to get her one and go into the next end, down 2.
The big shot here for Team Lost, facing 2. Last rock, end number 4. Looking for a draw for a single point before the 4th end halfway point break. Easily by the guards. They're gonna stick in time. It
nice
does,
shot.
yes. Pressure shot here from Team Laws. They get a single point here just before the end of the first half. The 5th end break is coming up, and now it is Team Einarson. Einarson leading Team Laws 3-1 after 4. So we'll be back here in just a couple moments. It's the 4th end break here at the Saville Grand Prix. You're watching here on Curling Stadium. Back with more after these words.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, is led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss. But it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for.
So I'm looking at some of the comments, and there's a couple things that that our commentary is behind the actual feed.
Yeah, because I'm finding
It's really broken up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that all of a sudden the shot's there, and then boom, it's like we don't get a chance to see the reaction, like what caused it. So.
Yeah. So we are back.
Yeah, we're back here. The teams are now at the fourth end break at Saville Grand Prix, whichever term you want to use. Sandra, McMakin, Dan Hobson, James Gordon behind the board, directing here, and the rest of curling stadium crew. And you have to say, for Team Laws, they've had the tougher of the shots that Einarson has put the pressure on. For maybe folks that have just joined us right now, getting a little bit of a summary here, Sandra. But to be trailing just by 2 as they head to the fifth, pretty much for Team Laws, after what was really a tough second end for them, they must be pretty happy just to only be trailing by 2. What do you feel?
Yeah. It was a little bit scary there. Selena did a great draw to the button to count one when she was looking at 2 and possibly 3, because we really didn't know whether that one on the back was a biter. And that would have been game right there. So now they go into the next end, Team Laws without the hammers. So we're going to see like probably double center guards, and they'll go hard for steals. Try to get themselves back into at least a tied position here in the next end or 2.
Yeah, so we had blanks in end number 1 and end number 3, and so far the big score came from Team Einarson in the second when they got a 3 spot, and that's basically was just a couple of half misses there by Loss. As we're underway here at end number 5. Einarson with the Yellowstones has hammer here in end number 5. And we'll just get over the hog line, so they'll have a little bit of a long guard here to start play here.
Nice
May
guard.
not be. That's a pretty good guard. I was going to say, sometimes in the old days, I remember the classic Don Dugan would used to say he wasn't a big fan of long guards, but that you seem to like that one now, that the long guards are taking more of importance in the new style of play these days.
Yeah. Well, they're going to put up more than one guard. And so to get some separation between those guards, there's usually one that's, just over the hog line, and then they'll bring the other one maybe halfway or a little bit closer to the house than that. And that's just to avoid, or make it really hard for teams to get rid of those guards both at the same time.
So as you see, the long guard is there, and Einarson has gone around it, so Laws here. The second of 2 lead stones here from Team Laws. This one will come into the house. Sit top 8. Be second shot as of now.
Yeah. A little bit of a mistake there. They wanted to keep that out of the house again. When you slide into the house, you've now brought the opponent into the house with you. So she's going to try and hit and roll over to the side. And I would imagine that Selena's going to just continue on trying to, build that double center guard strategy.
Well, sweeping, dragging that rock there to the house, and they'll give a little kiss to the red and push it to the back. Their shooter will go to the side as they try to get that redstone out, and they do. So once again, Einarson's team applying the pressure as they lie to just early stages in number 5. Take a look at Laws there as she's Team Laws trying to get it across the hog line. Both rushers there trying to work. And now they'll leave a center line guard there.
Wow, this one looks like it's really cutting. They've got it by. If they can just get it a little further away. That's pretty good. Okay. However, free guard zone is off. And so now they'll try and get rid of these center guards.
Got the big weight being thrown here as they're going to try to clear out in front of the house. Team Einarson. Long guard not a factor, just punches that out. Can't keep the shooters that will go towards the side, but definitely opening up the scoring area right now. As I say, that long guard's really all of a sudden now it's making not really much of a factor. It's just right there. It could be more of a Henderson, but it's just where everybody's strategy can you can agree or disagree. Is that the strategy for it is that it's not getting a lot of attention right now. It's once again another guard by Team Lost thrown up.
Yeah. So when the second rock slid into the house, so you need all 3 of your rocks in the 5 guard zone. When you don't have the hammer, you need all 3 of your rocks in those positions, right? You need your 2 guards up front, and then you need your 3rd rock to come around behind them. And then you would spend the rest of the end protecting that. So when the second rock slid in the house, now they're waiting for a mistake. Okay. At some point, I would say that she's going to, try and maybe freeze on the one that's on the 4-foot. She has to watch out because she doesn't want to give up another 3-ender because that at this point could put the game a little bit out of reach. But she is going to continue with the double center guard for a rock or 2 more.
Well, definitely if they can even force Einarson here to 1 and at least get the hammer.
Yeah.
Definitely is a benefit for them here. Once again, they're working hard. They got to pass that long guard, and it will come to a stop.
Yeah, this is actually quite a nice guard, because you can only see a little bit of it. So, is she going to go for this one? She might decide if she can't see enough. Pro side would be you pick off the top one, right? So, there's nothing hurting that they go for this rock that they can only see a bit of.
Southpaw Val Sweetie. Easily by that one. Picks it off and will roll to the side and out. So we're into the third studs here in number 5. Game moving along pretty quickly here on a Sunday afternoon. Both trying to get themselves into what would be the final. The big field that came here, Sandra. So it's to get down to the nitty gritty. Kind of really not surprised to see these teams here in the playoff contention here.
Yeah.
Even if it's like some of this, even though it's a little different team, Einarson and a different team was, it's still like their fifths and backup players have been playing well all weekend. And as you see, they leave one there just top of the, just back of the 12, or top of the 12. Maybe catching a little bit of the 8-foot area, sorry.
It was, yeah. It looks like there's, 24 teams? But it's got a strength multiplier of 7. That's, that's pretty high. So I think that the games that were in pan-continental games that were in Lacombe this past weekend, I mean, on the women's side, they also had a strength of field multiplier of 7. So these are, the best teams around, and into the semifinals, we have the cream of the crop.
They just bumped that red one, and so they've got that yellow stone pretty much buried there. And once again, his team lost decision-making time of what they want to do here, late stages of in number 5. Or looking to the one on the side, are you thinking is the double there, or would you say they're shooter Sandra?
Well, she went to a lot of trouble to put up center guards. And it's always easier to place a rock with a draw than it is a hit, especially this hit. This is, kind of a steeper rock. Now, I know that she's trying to, eliminate the potential for Einarson to get a big end again. I don't know. I kind of like the draw, but she's going to minimize damage a little bit here.
Kind of needed that shot, and now Einarson, who has hammer here at end number 5.
Very nice.
Big shot there, as you said, it was line 2, and was Einarson, and then of course Selena with that nice shot to just sort of clear things up, and she's had to seem to have a lot of the pressure cooker shots here in this one.
Yeah. So Kerri is electing to do the run back because, from the hack, she probably can't see more than maybe a third to half of that rock. And I think this is one of her signature shots.
Into skip stones, the first of two of Einarson. She has hammer here.
Oof.
She'll clear some things as well as bump that red one back, but roll the yellow stone to the 12. Still Laws lying. First shot to lie 1.
Yeah. You know, we saw that on the previous game, that as soon as they bring their weight up just a little bit, these rocks don't move at all. So I think that's maybe what happened. So, you know, to me, if she draws, she's going for a steal, which I think is what she wanted to do. If she hits, like, because they keep looking over at the yellow on the 12-foot, if she hits, she's basically conceding a point. So if you're going to claw your way back into this game, I think that she really needs to, where they have the broom, that's a good shot. That's a good place for this rock to go.
And one of the things too is they definitely don't really want to have this too close to their own. Leave Einarson here with a good chance to clear some stuff out here. So we said we're into skip stones here in number 5. And they'll bring this and it will sit there in the top 8. So now it is Team Laws line 2.
You can see now this rock is really going to start to cut over. Placement is really important here. So she wants to know how much you can see of this rock, because, you know, if they can see enough of it and you can hit it close to nose, you could, you know, get a double and count.
How much confidence is it here for Einarson to have Val Sweeting as referred to, a former skip in the past who's had success on the national stage, to, you know, bounce ideas off of? I guess that must be a really good feeling to have, isn't it?
Actually, I think that it's super helpful to have somebody who has skipping experience at third, or actually anywhere on the team. If you remember, like Kerri's team is like, it's different right now, but Kerri's team was 4 skips. Now those 4 skips agreed that there was only 1 skip on the team, but you still have all that experience out there.
Well, they did the force and ended up Laws will get a point here to make it 3-2. Einarson will have the hammer here in 6. So all of a sudden that 3 spot just went right across that Einarson got here in the second. Is now sort of now a 1-point game. So as we head into the final stretches, we've got end number 6. We'll have more of it here from the Saville Grand Prix here on Curling Stadium after these words.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, we got it.
got one, you got two, yeah!
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
And here we are. 3 ends left here in this, what has been a beautiful contest here between Team Einarson and Team Laws. Einarson has the hammer here in 6th, throwing yellow stones. A steal for Laws there in the 5th. And that was a big point there that Laws got there as Sandra McMakin joins me, as well as James Gordon doing the switching of the rest of the curling stadium crew. And that 3 spot is almost wiped off the board here for Team Laws as we get into the late stages. Couldn't ask for. May have been a slow start, but a better finish here for Laws Team Laws as they're here in the 6th.
Yeah, so that end worked out really well for Team Laws. She basically stuck with her strategy of double center guard, made a decision to go for a really tough double to hit and stick behind one of Team Einarson's rocks, and it ended up that she was in a great spot to place a rock and get a steal. So now it's a 3-2 game, and we'll probably see another end where we see an end where we've got 2 center guards again. So.
Yeah, the score hasn't really sort of told the story a lot. With it being like a 3-2 contest, there have been ends that have had a lot of rocks in play, but some big shots at big moments here has sort of made this a low-scoring affair. Now, here's a question I'm going to put on to you. I'm going to put you on the spot, Sandra. The lower the score, who does it favor, Einarson or Team Laws?
The lower the score?
Yes.
You know what? I'm not exactly sure. Like we haven't seen a whole bunch of rocks in play. We've both teams hit when they don't have the hammer, just to make sure that there isn't an opportunity for a super big end. So they're both playing a little bit more defensively. Well, now we're seeing more rocks in play because it's an even end, and Team Laws is still trying. They're going to go for another steal.
Second stone being thrown by Rebecca Hebert, and we were kind of talking just off air before this broadcast. No relation to Ben Hebert, so we all got a little bit of a giggle there before the broadcast started on that one. We had Courtney with a hit and roll out. It seems like every end is almost like been a little bit of a carbon copy, pretty much the same. 1 stone in the house and a couple of guards out front. At least that's what it feels like on this end for me.
Yeah. So Team Einarson has a couple of rocks in the house. They're going to spend time getting rid of some of these center guards. And I think that it looks like Selena is going to go hard for another steal. She's just going to continue on with that strategy. And if she gets a break along the way, hopefully, place rocks in a way that she gets another steal out of it. Another steal, it's the 6th end. Then all of a sudden, they're tied and there's only 2 ends left. And the fact that they have been able to actually steal, like sometimes you just aren't able to manufacture that. They're doing pretty good with that. And when they had the hammer, they were struggling a little bit. Now they're sort of picking things up without the hammer. So maybe that's sometimes what happens with teams, is that they just switch, and the side of the hammer switches for them and things click better.
Jocelyn Peterman throwing third stone here for Team Lodge. We're into third stones here. And then number 6. And almost just like last year where that red center guard was there, the start, it's gone right back there. So
yeah.
It's bound to be in every end that we have here from here on out, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, Team Laws just has like a really nice setup again without the hammer.
Val Sweeting, her first of 2. Lots of big weight. The brushers haven't had to lay a brush on it, and smack dab on the red one and removes the shooter as well. Pretty much a carbon copy of the previous shot here for Jocelyn Peter. They're going to come down and have a little chat about this here. So.
Yeah, so we're into thirds, second rock. And I think they're just wondering whether they should delay coming into the house one more time, or whether they should just, because they do have the 2 guards at the front. Mind you, those guards are kind of close to the house. But it wouldn't be hard for Einarson to actually peel off both those guards either. They're pretty close to each other. So I think that's the discussion. Do they come in and take that chance? So if they come in, and you can see she's motioning to freeze up to the back one, you freeze up to the back one, and now you've neutralized both those other rocks, or both the yellow rocks. So there's that option as well. I kind of wonder whether they should go one more time with their center guard.
Yeah, they're having almost a full team meeting here on this shot of where to put it. And as you see, like the center line pretty much closed off, and then the out turn is, so they still have the in turn there. They can come around slightly, get in, be buried, and be the shot rock, but taking a good long time to discuss this here.
Yeah.
Well, they just, even though, like as I said, like it was they've been chasing this one, but they've had to make key shots and have made a game out of it after giving up that 3 in end number 2. And know that we're in the late stages of end number 6 in the game as well. So put your skip hat on. Where do you put this there, Sandra?
Well, I know they're just afraid if they put up another center guard and then Kerri comes around, then what? But, that's, I think too, is then maybe you're going to force, like if she comes around, then you come and you freeze on her and you pull that 4 foot down and you force one. So I still like the center guard, the other center guard. One more time, and then, then it's up to Selena to get in there on the forefoot. So they've opted to come in.
Biter there, the top 12, and Biter, and just hanging on to the back 12. Einarson line 2 here in the 6th. Third stone here, Jocelyn Hederman. Once again, the front end on it. The sweepers have earned their keep here in this game here between Einarson and Laws. Starting to dig in, starting to bend around, easily by. And they're hoping to put the brakes on it, and you couldn't place it any better if you picked it up and just dropped it there. They put it right in the button.
Yeah. And so, and this is kind of the danger, is that those two rocks they can get rid of both of them with one rock. That's why it would have been maybe nice to have another center guard, but they still have their rock on the button, and they can just replace their center guard as well.
Peel Gabe here for Sweden has been good in this game so far, and she's asked to do it again. Onto the front, will spill out things, and Red Rock will roll to the back, and so as you see, the Redstone easily unexposed right now, as Law's team lies 1. We're into the skip stones in number 6. Once again, this time, Third and Skip having a conversation on this.
Yeah, so if their goal is to steal, then they need to put their center guard back.
And just like that, the Hederman puts her broom out there, so got to give credit here for Selena here in, as you said, she's had skip experience in the past, but she's in this game, it seems like she's had the pressure cooker of the shots so far, and once again.
Yeah, she made that draw to the button on the fourth end, and then she made that super good in-off double kind of thing to stick on the fifth end. So yeah, she's done some great shots.
And Selena there this is being dragged here by the sweepers, trying to protect that rock, and it's going to come to a stop, and it pretty well has buried that redstone that's sitting in the button.
Now you can still see some of that rock.
Just a little bit, yes.
Yeah. So she's going to do the run back.
Pretty much the usual Einarson throwing routine, high five with the sweepers as she makes her way up the ice here for her first of 2 in number 6. My broadcast colleague Sandra McMakin says, run it back. Let's see what Einarson does. She has a hammer here in 6.
The rock, is it floating? It's kind of floating out.
Also remove and lose the shooter. So a little door opening here for Laws. She stole one in the 5th. Team Laws, that is, of course, as we mentioned off the top. Laws ready to rejoin this team soon. Having child number 2, so congratulations to her. So pretty much the call here is just to put that guard back up and play, you'd say. Final stone for Team Laws here. They're without the hammer here in N6.
Yeah, and this rock has got to be perfect or they're giving up a 3. So it's got to move, got to move, got to move.
And now it may start to dig in at the front end once again, trying to drag it. And we'll stop there in the top 12. As you see, there's probably half a rock on the towards the center line there. Once again, the hand slap from Einarson as she makes her way up. So she makes this could be game.
Yeah, she really only has to hit it, on the nose. That's all. And her shooter will stay and both those rocks will go. Maybe off nose a little bit, but
final stone. Kerri Einarson here in number 6. Looking to remove the red stone. Stick around for 3. She got a 3 and in number 2. It does a bada boom, bada bing. 1, 2, 3. Count them up there for Einarson. And now she has a 6-2 lead through 6. So we're going to take a break and we'll be back with in number 7 right after these words.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
And welcome back here to the Saville Grand Prix here on Curling Stadium. Sandra McMakin, Dan Hobson, and we're into end number 7. Team Laws has the hammer throwing the red stones, and they've got an uphill battle. As Team Einarson with a 3 in the second and a 3 in the sixth have a 6-2 lead as they have 2 ends left to play. So you definitely know that all of a sudden, Sandra, we may see a little bit more of a defensive game from Einarson and basically try to keep everything clean from here on out.
Yeah. So you can see that for Yellow's first one, I didn't see the call, but they ended up with a 3 guard. Okay. And then Laws put a guard on their guard. Okay. So they can take their own guard off, but not if they can't get to it. So, I mean, just to get the most number of guards in place, she puts a guard on the guard. That's pretty smart thing to do. And now she can come in and freeze on the back. And I mean, she has the hammer. So obviously she probably doesn't really want to play everything to the center, but it is working out that that's where the house is being built right now.
And for Team Laws, pretty much. And the thing with they won a lot of rocks in play, but another thought just came into mind is that definitely Einarson would love Laws to even probably just take 1, but even giving up 2 won't be so bad with a 4-point lead.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she could give up 2. She could probably even give up 3 and come home with the hammer up 1, and she, would be in a position of strength. So right now, any rocks in play actually are a bonus for Team Laws, because you need rocks in play to generate points, and it doesn't matter what color they are. So you can just use their rocks against them,
You see that couple of rocks already in play here, early stages of end number 7. Brusher's pretty much on it as soon as it left the hack, as they now come around, starting to tuck around. Starts to take a little bit of a dig once it hits that hog line and brushes that yellow and almost like sort of cutting down the center line here. So they'll definitely have to do a little bit of in turns or out turns to try to get at it, as the center line has been squashed for the meantime. And I got that red one right up there along the hog line, or right close to the hog line, that long guard. So as you said, the more rocks in play, the better it is for Laws.
Yeah.
Yeah, a funny feeling that maybe all of a sudden the later stages of the end, you might see Einarson and all of a sudden put up the big weight and start to peel some of this off.
Yeah, she'll probably, blow up the house, blow up the front of the house anyways.
Like I said, this is usually where it starts to take off and starts to dig in. Another rub and bounce it off and just bite a bit of the 12 to the third shot. They got first and third right now. Second shot belonging to Einarson in the back 4. Going to make a play on just that previous rock that was thrown. Looks to try to get a little bit of a roll as well. But sometimes you get in this the skip may be calling for a shot, but also probably good communication here to maybe talk to the players and say, well, what do you feel more comfortable doing, correct?
Yeah, so I mean they're up 4, right? And they don't have the hammer. And generally hit what you can see when you don't have the hammer. Okay, so that rock is wide open. It can't score if it's not in the house. I mean, they can give up 1 or 2 or even 3, and they're still going to be in a position of strength. But if they eliminate red rocks, and sort of box things in to make it difficult for Team Laws to get, a big end, and a big end would be anything really more than 2 for them. Bring that game close. But right now, she's going to hit. And try to move things around on the front of the house so she has a few more options.
Yeah, it's definitely some blockage there. Right down the middle. Big weight. And we'll chip both of those rocks. The shooter will go to the side as well, but it sort of cleans a little bit of an open path there. As the shooter rolls out, as I mentioned. Very hard to pick that red one out without taking anything else out.
Yeah. But in Kerri's situation, that yellow rock is holding the red one in. I mean, like she could lose it and it's probably not helping her. She could lose it and then, then there's nothing holding the red rock in anymore. So, I coach a lot of junior teams and sometimes they try really hard to keep their rocks in the house, even rocks that are hurting them. So it's not always a good thing to keep them in.
As you see, once again, it gets past the hall glide, it starts to bite and takes in, and they'll bump the red one. Right now, Einarson sitting second and third shot. Law's first shot. That red, lonely Yellowstone right in the button.
Yeah, so Selena is just going to, play a little bit of a tap, move things around, keep those rocks in play so they're at the back of the house, as catchers for their rocks.
Jocelyn Peterman. We're into third stones here at number 7. Einarson with that 4-point lead. Easily by that long guard, as I said. Starting to bite and come on in. Will maybe kiss off the yellow. Does. Is once again the 4 foot, a little bit of the 8 foot area right along the center line. Sort of congested right now here in N7. Val Sweeten gonna come down and have a talk as she's left the hack and is, as you see right there in the center of your screen. Want to get a better look to see what the difference was. As you said, like sometimes you get to the hack and you don't see what you doesn't really look as comfortable as what you originally feel or what the original call is. To get down there and take a little bit of a closer look, it kind of helps you.
Yeah.
The looks to be that they're gonna. It seems like for Val Sweeting in this game, she's done a lot of like guard removing, has been asked to do it once again. They're gonna go after the long Laws guard there, just tucked in. As you see, get a piece and roll it out. Shooter rolls out as well.
Yeah. So she's just gonna, play like backline weight or maybe a little bit more just to move things around. I don't think that she really wants to get rid of a bunch of stuff because we have this joke that we say that whoever hits the pile first loses because all you do is spread the rocks apart enough that you give the other team the opportunity to pick out all your shots when it's done. So
you might want to quote that and make a t-shirt and make money off that. Put it up at all the curling clubs across the world, United States and Canada.
Yeah, because it was like we played this one.
Start yourself an early retirement fund.
Yeah, we played this one team one time. Actually, they were and I was coaching. So we played this team, and it was Bing Yuang from China. And they had, those guys were just freeze on everything. And we were watching them play other teams and just perfect freezes one after the other. And finally, somebody would come down and they would like try and blow that pile of rocks apart. Well, all you do is move things apart just enough that then she comes and takes out all of your rocks because you've spread everything out for her. So that became the joke, is that whoever hits the pile first loses.
That's a great story. Well, there definitely is a big pile there, pretty much in a string. It almost looks like, even though it's a little different color, a Christmas tree from like drag racing when they have those lights that light up. It's almost like that right now. Okay, Hibbert has left the conversation, has gone back, so it's just Peterman right now. And Selena talking this over. As I said before, Einarson would be happy if the team loss took one, and that's what right now at this point in this seventh inning that we are looking at is the one, and they would have hammer at eighth and pretty much make loss run out of stones in the eighth. This is a big shot here for Team Laws, Peterman and company.
Yeah. So she's going to do, it'll be interesting to see how much weight that she throws.
Thumbs up there from the sweepers.
Yeah.
Gets a little bit of a separation and got third shot out of it. So
what did I say?
Whoever hits the pile first.
Whoever hits the pile first loses. Now those reds, again, it's it's a tough shot, but there is a double there.
Yeah, and the thing is that the center path is completely open, as the viewers can see on the screen as Kerri makes her way up here. We're into skipstones here in the seventh.
That might have been a touch too much weight. It might have been it would have been, if some of those rocks had stayed a little closer, as catchers and stuff. I think that they would have, they would have had more to work with for Team Laws.
Skip Stones here at end number 7, the first of 2. Einarson on the way. She had a beauty there in 6 to get 3. Looking to try to spill some red garnet. 1 and would jab on the yellow, but still removes it, but the red stone stays there, so still Laws lying 1. With Einarson lying shots 2, 3, and 4. Team Law says, well, we've got 1 here in the bank. How do we get another?
Yeah.
A little bit of a better look there in front of the house. Okay. You see the situation there, coach, player, Sandra. Where do you put this?
This is a tough one. Like, I mean, really, it would be nice to keep a 3 in play, but you're really fighting for a 2 here. So I don't know, like what happens if you angle freeze on the front, on that front yellow?
And yet, if you decide to put something to block the path, you're pretty much only scoring 1 here and down by 4. That don't help you either. So it's
yeah. See, that front yellow is a dangerous rock because it's an angle. You know, it's an angle run back if you leave it there. So they're gonna try, I think, and come around. So, yeah, it's a tough shot. I kind of like the angle freeze on that yellow to take away the run back and keep a red rock in play, make it harder to get to the shot rock. Still leaves you a draw around the other side.
Well, I gave the commentators jinx when I said that we were rolling along in the first 3 ends. Last 2, of course, with the intensity of the game, gone a little bit longer. As I said, we're going to skip stones here at end number 7. Once again, this is biting in. We're going to try not to easily buy it. Yeah, but they got to bring it. But it will sit there in the 8-foot.
Yeah, see, there's that little run back.
Well, that's the thing, is that they need stones in play to try to get back trailing by 4. But when all of a sudden you're putting stones in and there's a lot of stones in play to begin with, and Einarson has the ability to do run backs, doubles, and everything like that, it almost gets into your head, well, where am I going to put this where I don't leave a double for or a run back for? Well, she doesn't have the hammer here at 7, but she can put a little bit more pressure. Kerri Einarson of Team Einarson here with her final here in 7. Happy just to push it out, and flies 1, 2, 3. Now it's almost like the Team Laws is hard pressed to, well, they're going to have to fight hard just to get 1.
Yeah. I mean, one is just basically a draw. How do they get more than 1? They're looking at some sort of a run back. Like, can you, it's just unfortunate that that her first draw didn't come in another 4 inches to get like third shot, because then this would be a hit for 2 at least.
Has been a hard afternoon for Selena here, skipping Team Kaitlyn Laws here at the Saville Grand Prix. Final stone in number 7. Trailing by 4. Punches it out.
Oh, she gave up one.
Gave up one, so gotta be 7-2. Let's see if they decide to carry on into end number 8. Let's stick with this just a little bit, guys, but it looks like they will. So we will step aside and we'll bring you the 8th and final end after these words.
They're going to shake hands.
Okay, so after slight decision, they are shaking hands. Team Einarson with a 7-2 win over Team Laws in 7 ends of play to punch their ticket into a final. So, Sandra, final thoughts here on this one.
It was a good game. I think that, Team Einarson just, they were just a little bit stronger team. They made more full shots. Team Laws had some half shots that I think cost them, especially on the 2 ends that they gave up 3. I think that they had a couple of, they actually played, Team Laws actually, I thought, played really super strong without the hammer. They certainly had some nice setups, like center of the house setups. But Kerri can come in and do doubles and angle raise takeouts and all kinds of stuff. So, rock placement, you got to keep your rocks back from the house and make those shots like super hard for her. But it'll be a great final.
Well, Sandra, it was a pleasure working with you. First time working together, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
All right.
So for Sandra McMakin, as well as director James Gordon and the rest of the Curling Stadium crew, my name is Dan Hobson. Thank you for tuning in to the Saville Grand Prix Curling on Curling Stadium, and we wish you all a very good night.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.